I've come down, I thought, well, I've just got to keep everything together, you know, it's not your cue, it's not your legs, not your arms, you just got to try and deliver it straight.
When Davis has cut the black in, because this is Davis, OK? So I said, oh, I'm going to bed. I said, it's over.
No.
And I'm halfway up the stairs, and my wife shouted, he's missed it. I couldn't believe it.
Hope is what happens. You go hope and outcome. And then, oh, dear.
I can't comprehend it now that he missed it, because that isn't Steve. The one thing Steve has got, apart from his ability to play the game, is a wonderful temperament.
This is really unbelievable.
The way Dennis Taylor shaped to take that shot, it took forever to make up his mind that he was going to pot it.
He didn't break, and Steve broke on that last ball, and that was just unbelievable.
He's done it. Dennis Taylor, for the first time, becomes Embassy World Snooker Champion 1985.
He took that final black, which was the first time he'd been in front in the whole match.
It lives in the memory so much of it because it went on so long, and one of the players came from 8-0 down to win on the final black in the final frame over 35 frames.
The whole place here at the Crucible erupting for this very popular Irishman.
You can't help but like Dennis, and so you're quite pleased for him, wagging in his finger when you wanted to smack him straight in the nose.
That wasn't me. And all he was saying was, I told you I could do it.
And a sad champion, Steve Davis, looks on.
Having someone giving out all this, kissing the trophy, doing all this stuff, and you're sat in the corner, and then David Vine comes and says, how do you feel?
Can you believe what's happened tonight yet?
Yeah, it happened in black and white.
What do people want him to say?
A fabulous picture of a very happy and popular man.
The first thought is, I'm world champion. After all these years, I've become world champion, and it's a very, very special feeling. And then after that, I had no idea what was going to happen.
It was the end. You know, there's no more balls. There were 17 days of playing for one ball at the end, and you can't do anything about it. And you've messed it up. And that's snooker.
I suppose you look back on it 25 years later, sitting here now and have immense love for that occasion.
Well, my thoughts, obviously, being the type of animal I am, I immediately signed Dennis Taylor, which I think sort of sums me up quite perfectly, really, doesn't it? You know, it was great. And Steve said, thanks, mate. And I had a few letters from his fans saying, how could you? I said, there's a bigger picture here.
It's a very small town. What did it mean for this place and its proud tradition and the pictures that adorn the wall of hundreds and hundreds of snooker players to have one win the world title?
That was maybe one of the biggest sporting moments in that particular year and maybe years since. And as soon as he potted the black ball, we all became involved in that. You know, we were part of that.
I had that good faith that Mummy was behind him and that she would see him through to the final, which she did.
So that was constantly on your mind then, the whole way through when you were sitting in the Crucible, that you knew it wasn't really about lifting that trophy, which is what we were all thinking. He could be world champion.
He could,
and you're thinking something, and the family is thinking something, and Dennis is thinking something completely different.
He's thinking that it's for her. It's not so much it's actually the world champion that he's going to be. It's going to be a win for Mummy, and he did it.
It's weird that people have won that title. Stephen Hendry 7 times, Steve Davis 6 times, but for some reason winning it just that once seems to be...
The once was enough for Dennis. As he said, you only have to win it the once to be, and you win it the once to be remembered, but it's one that it'll never be forgotten, I think, because of the situation and being on the black ball. Everybody knows where they were when Dennis won the World Championships in '85, and
And done with dignity?
With dignity, it was.
Dennis Taylor, snooker champion of the world. What did you say?
I'll tell you what. It's a good job the black was over the pocket. But, well, I don't know, that's definitely, well, the greatest match I've ever been involved in my life.
Has anything like that ever happened in a match before to you? Have you gone through anything like that of emotion and tension?
No.
To beat Steve Davis, who's been the best player in the world, well, you know, there's not a lot more you can say, really. Well, I'm the best this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor, who created a wonderful match here tonight.
I think we both realised we were involved. There've been some great matches and some great moments in snooker. To win it in the way I did, it was like winning 4 world titles, that all wrapped up in one.
People get what they deserve. He's a grafter. He grafted, got himself back. He worked on his technique a bit. Never gave up. What more can you ask for? You know, well done, Den.
The 1985 Embassy Snooker Champion of the World with a cheque for £60,000 and the trophy, Dennis Taylor.
I would need so much more than 59 minutes to fill you in about everything that I've learnt on my journey across Britain and Ireland to discover the real story of the '85 final. But here's a couple of gems I haven't yet managed to fit in. I've learnt that David Icke, despite having 30,000 people in a social networking group, doesn't do crowds.
Me, I don't do groups. I don't do groups.
I've learnt that winners not only detest losing, but have very little time for losers.
Oh,
Fiver.
You guys are going out for lunch today, courtesy of my bloody puggy. If you had a bit of bottle about them, you would have won 7 world titles.
I learnt that one Northern Irish champion made a future one late for training.
I was late for training the next day. I was late for training. I don't think anybody minded because most of the sparring partners were sitting watching it anyway. Yeah.
I've learnt that Mam is a snooker fan.
She said she did follow the game of snooker on the dot. And I knew that the Duke of Edinburgh did because they had a table put in back in the paddock.
I've learnt that Dennis Taylor, just before the final frame, nipped out to use the toilet.
17-year-old Dennis left the arena, beckoned me to follow him. And everybody thought we were going to go out to talk tactics or something. Well, in fact, we just had a quick nip of brandy to calm the nerves.
I've also learnt it's a bad idea to bet your student grant on a snooker match.
It meant that I had to leave my rented accommodation because I couldn't afford to pay them. And I had to sleep in a tent in Harlow Park for a month in the coldest spring for 50 years.
You know what I learnt above everything is how much it still means to people. No shortage of people who want to talk about it. And also, I think in both of your eyes, coming to the end of the journey and interviewing both of you, that you still feel it. So I'm thinking 25 years, that's a long time, right? Quarter of a century. I'm just wondering, 25 years later, just us three, we do it again. The final frame.
That would be good.
You've everything to lose.
Let me just think. I'd love to do it again.
What do you think? It's just us? We got the table here, it's set up.
I'll break.
You break. Nice enough.
They created a piece of not just snooker history, but great British sporting drama. Any sportsman who gives us something that goes into our memory banks, where it gives us a warm feeling and say, you know what, I was ever so glad I saw that. That was a bit special. And you know what? That was a bit special.